Y'all, I am so excited about the next 3 videos, I think, because I became friends over Facebook with a couple that lives in Ohio. And he is a true, let's see, what would the words be? When we met for the first time today, I said, he reminds me of some of the men at Williamsburg that do the all the ironworks. So I want to introduce you to Doug, and I want you to tell us all about your business, how you got started. Just tell us.
Well, first of all, Miss Paula, I want to thank you for having us down. I brought the family with me, some of our family, and you'll get to meet them in a little bit. And it's just a beautiful place, and we're just so grateful to be here.
Oh, listen, I'm so grateful. We had been planning this get-together for a long time, but then cold weather.
A snowstorm.
Yeah, they're from Ohio.
Got in the way.
Yeah, and we have really, this country really had a hard winter, but we finally made it. Mm-hmm. And you look just like your work.
Well, thank you. There's nothing fake about us.
No.
We're very
So tell everybody what you do.
So I'm a full-time blacksmith in Logan, Ohio, and I have worked with my children, and they're all grown now. When I say kids or children, I mean grown adults, and they're all working in the shop with me.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And
so
I've been able
how many
to.
years working in your
I have
shop?
a son, 2 daughters, and a son-in-law, and we're all working in the shop, and I've been able to share my passion with them and have them follow in my footsteps. And now, as we said earlier, I'm 62, and as I'm getting older, I need to start slowing down. And they're taking over more and more of the business. So what happened is, in a traditional blacksmith shop, we do everything. We will repair a model, like in the morning, somebody will bring a Model A car in and need a part of the frame fixed or the bumper, or else we'll get some vintage farm equipment, or we'll get some reproduction pieces. It's all over the place. And so about 8 or 10 years ago, my daughter and I, Danielle, decided that we wanted to kind of focus on something that all of the children's strengths could be used. Some are better at managing and marketing, some are better at welding, some are better at forging.
When everyone has their own niche.
Yeah. Now here's something to keep in mind. And I'm going to make a statement here. It's in my opinion that females make far better blacksmiths than men. Because it has nothing to do with the size of the hammer or force or brute strength. It has to do with finesse, and it has to do with timing and management and using your head. And I learned that from my daughter, Danielle. She started in the shop seriously when she was 12. And I watched her grow, and I needed the help in the shop. So she didn't have a chance to develop her own style. So she had to, we had an order for 1,000 hooks. She had to make 500, and I had to make 500, and they all had to match. So she matched my work impeccably. And now it's very difficult to tell the difference. Yeah. But Danielle right now is on a sabbatical. She's doing something more important than blacksmithing, which is raising our grandchildren.
Yes.
She's doing a great job with that, and we brought them with us. But anyway, about 8 or 10 years ago, Danielle and I we wanted to make something that everybody would be. See, if a Model A car comes into my shop, it's only going to...
It's temporary.
Well, no, but it's only people with vintage cars are going to be interested in that. We wanted something broader than that. And so we thought at the time, I had this real passion of something that everybody would want. And so I figured, well, everybody I know has a mouth. Everybody I know eats. So why not focus our energy on cookware? And we did. And so what I was looking for was, Danielle and I, about 5 different things that we were going to make in this cookware.
And this was like 8 years ago, you say?
Yeah. One thing we wanted, and here's an example of what we made.
Beautiful.
One thing we want to do is we wanted to make it lighter than cast iron. And so even though there's a tremendous amount of work that went into designing this. So the wall thickness, we played with that. We adjusted it. We made it thicker and thinner. If it was too thin, it would warp and it would be too light. If it was too thick, it'd be competing with a cast iron. So we dialed that in and we got it just right. The other thing I wanted it to be decorative. I'm really tired of people. I'm not people. I'm really tired of the things that are available to us that are very blocky and contemporary. I wanted something very elegant and curves. And so that's why we designed this handle. I wanted this handle to be as decorative as I could, as thin and delicate as I could, but still retain its strength. And we did that. Another thing we wanted to do is we wanted the bowl and the handle to be separate so that as the bowl heats up, if you notice right here, we've riveted, we use traditional rivet to put the handle on.
Yeah.
This bowl has to heat up, then it transfers into the handle, slowly works its way up here, and by the time it gets up to this area, you're done cooking. So very rarely do you have a hot handle. I also put this relief in there because it's a great place to hang it up, and it lets air move around through this so you don't have that problem.
Yes.
What was the other things that we wanted?
That makes sense.
We made it out of forged steel so that the heat could change rapidly. Like in cast iron, if you change the heat too rapidly, you can crack it. Handles will break or there'll be a split in it.
Right.
So we solved that problem. And we listened to everything. We put these pieces out there. We listened to the critiques that everybody had, and then we adjusted. And we believe we have one of the finest pieces of cookware out there. The last thing we wanted,
doubt,
because you use
without a doubt, they do.
The last thing, and you can contest this, and I took this as a challenge. They said, I wanted a non-stick surface because I know there's a lot of controversy and a lot of problems with Teflon coated and health issues.
Yes.
So I wanted to make something that was natural and non-stick. And they said, everybody that I talked to said, you can't do it. And I said,
oh, don't you love to be challenged?
Right, don't tell me I can't do it.
Don't tell me I can't do it.
So I started doing research, and I found out before they started casting cast iron, they forged cookware. And so the interesting thing about this is being forged and not cast, it has a closed porous floor, which means that just a small amount of oil on there will vibrate and keep your food from going down. Like on cast iron, the pores are much bigger, takes more oil, but the food tends to get down in those cavities, and until you have knocked off those peaks and those valleys get shallower, then you're gonna have a sticking problem. So that's why vintage cast iron is so collectible, because everybody thinks that it's special and it's made of special magical metal or something, but it's not that at all. And so we sent you one. I just really thought that I wanted you to have one, and you've used it, and it's nonstick, isn't it?
This is my favorite.
Now see, it's good for you too, because you can lick it and you don't have to take an iron pill in the morning.
It's a great idea. You know, I think you're the only blacksmith that I know.
Well,
I would not think there would be a lot of...
you think that, but when I go to conventions, there's quite a few blacksmiths, and there's some very good blacksmiths out there still, and which is reassuring to me, because we've been told that it's a dying art, and young people don't really care. But I'm finding that my children do care. They care to carry it on, and then we're finding that the younger generation, and we're finding maybe 12 to 15-year-olds are approaching this trade, and
that's
interesting.
Wonderful, because there's some things that we should never let die.
And here's an interesting thing. We see that rivet right there? This got me in a whole lot of trouble.
Why?
Well, not really, but right there. Because what this is pre-welding technology. This is when they couldn't stick that handle on there, and the only way to do it is they put a piece of metal in there, and they round both sides to squeeze it. It's a clamping system. It's it's honest, and it's forever. You can't get that off unless you drill it out or grind it off. So what happened was a few years ago, many years ago, now it's a few years in my brain, but it's 15 or 16, the state of Ohio Department of Transportation contacted me and said, hey, we have an iron bridge from 1840, and we need somebody that has that knowledge to look at this and see if it's able to be restored. So I traveled up to Northern Ohio, and we spent a couple days going over this bridge. And the main reason I was called is because of this, because it had 2,000 or more rivets that had to be replaced, and nobody knew how to do that anymore. There's very few. I'm not going to say nobody. There's very few. And so I took the job, and now my family, and we have another company north of us, are the only people that restore these old iron bridges with hot riveting. So currently,
how long did that take you to complete that job?
most bridges take just under a year, but we have a bridge in the shop right now that came out of Midland, Michigan. And it's a 300-foot double span iron bridge made in 1907.
And it fits in your shop?
No, it's laying out in pieces all over the all over the ground outside. But each piece has a tag. The girls will map the bridge. Each tag corresponds to the map. And then what we do in the shop is restore each piece, put in new rivets, new metal if it needs it, make sure it's sound. Then we'll put a finish on it, take it back to site, put it back together like a big puzzle, and it'll last for another 150 years. And so that's quite an honor too. And that is truly one of my favorite passions. And I've been able to convince the children that that's something that they should be doing too.
And you know, Doug, you're so fortunate that your children bought in to what you do. Because family businesses are hard.
They are.
They're hard. But if everybody has the same passion, it'll work.
And there's nothing more heartwarming than me. When, we were doing a bridge in Pennsylvania, and it was late at night. It was like 8 o'clock, and all the children were on the bridge, and I was down below. So I had 2 man baskets, and I had my daughters up in the baskets, and I had my son on the top riveting, and my son-in-law. And it was just, you know, there's those moments that get burned into your memory that's like a special moment. That was one of them. But we'd sure like if you're ever up in our way to come and visit the shop, because it's truly an old-fashioned, blacksmith shop. We have vintage tools.
Yes, I would love to see it. Well, I can't wait for the next video, because your wife, Birdie, is going to be teaching me how to cook something on these beautiful pans. Is that right?
Right. We're going to show you the versatility of these skillets. This is, if you notice in our packaging, when you get this skillet, we've included something new. We just started. We hand forged a little hook about this big, because all of the report back we get are, this skillet doesn't even go in the cupboard. I leave it on the stove, or it's my favorite, and we hear that over and over, and that really keeps us, you know, in a place that, you know, reassures us that we're doing the right thing.
Right.
So we make this little hook that you can hang somewhere by your stove. You make a special place for it, and we just include that because that's kind of a guarantee. We know it's going to be your special
and
skillet.
how do you attach that hook?
That'll be a screw. There's a screw hole in it. And you put it on your wall, and you can hang your favorite skillet on there. It's never too far from your oven.
You know, I don't have pot hangers. I used to have pot hangers, but when we redid the house, you know, I shot my show here for, quite a few years. And the film company just took over this part of the house. That's what made us want to go build down the road. But so I didn't get my pot rack back, and I have missed it terribly bad.
That'd be awesome if you'd show me a picture or a drawing of it, and I could help you bring that dream back.
Eddie, would you have any idea where? You'd see it on my shows.
Oh, yeah. Let's see if we can dig that up.
Yeah.
But again, I think Birdie's going to do a steak in this, because there's a number of really, there's just a tremendous ways you can use this, but searing steaks is really awesome. We have some professional chefs in local restaurants that are doing crab cakes only. Like if you go in their kitchen, don't touch this skillet unless you're making a crab cake.
Unless you want to lose your arm.
Yeah, and then the chef will only sear steaks in it. But Birdie's going to explain to you all the ways that she uses it, and there's a lot.
This is a very interesting man, and I think y'all gonna find that the rest of his family is almost as interesting as the founder of this company. He's got a beautiful family.
Well, thank you, Paula. We're really
Beautiful
glad to be here and spend this
glad
time with you.
I'm so glad you finally made the effort to make it. And I enjoy giving hoorays to those people that I admire. And I like sharing that with people.
You can include this if you want or not, but the reason I reached out to you, and I think you'll remember this, we were watching a cooking show one time, and it's with Gordon Ramsay.
Yes, I was on Gordon Ramsay's show 2 or 3 times.
Well, one episode. I don't know really how to. You probably shouldn't air this, but
just say it. Honey.
Okay, here it is. I see people come there on their last leg. They're like waitresses or pizza delivery, and they want to be a chef.
Yes.
And sometimes his critique can be really cruel. You know?
Absolutely.
And so I
have a hard time with that.
Okay, but you solved it, and I'm going to tell you why. Because on this one episode, I would see these people, and they would be so heartbroken that they would go home and just quit on everything. And so you came in. I don't know if you remember this show. You came in and you went up to them and you said, "Now, honey, I know this isn't your best work, but I believe in you." And you did something that I've always said that our country needs more Paul Harveys. Remember that?
I miss
We have so much negativity in our life. We don't need to add to that. And when I saw you do that, I said, that is a person that I would like to share our cookware with. And that's the reason I reached out to you.
I did not realize that was the reason, but I knew that was, that part of that show, the stick, was to be kind of tough. And I said, I'm going to have a problem with that.
Well, you solved it. Good job.
Good. I'm so glad.
And everybody there appreciated it too, all the contestants.
Yes.
But you were such a genuine person that I think if we'd have more shows like that, we'd have a better place to live.
Well, I have had my show on the internet now we started actually, Doug, when it was COVID was running rampant, and they passed, I don't know what you call it, but anyway, we weren't allowed to leave our home.
Right.
And I thought, oh my goodness, and it was on such short notice. I thought, how many people out there maybe didn't have time to get with their family or anything, and they're stuck by themselves in their home. They had the world frightened to death. And so I said, I've got to figure out something to do. And I was talking to Bobby, one of my sons, and I said, I sure would wish for a way to reach out to people during this terrible time. And he said, well, Mama, go do your show on YouTube. And I said, I can do that? He said, yeah. You just start your YouTube channel. And I called it Quarantine Cooking.
Oh.
And of course now, after all these years, it's become Love and Best Dishes. And I cannot wait for you to be a part of that channel.
Oh, that's so exciting. It's such an honor to meet you, be in your presence.
Thank you. Thank you. You're so kind. And you know what I've noticed? Your hands are beautiful. They're beautiful.
That's amazing. My hands are always black. And 3 days of not being in the coal, and they just shine right back up, isn't that something?
Yeah, they're beautiful. You would never know by his hands that he's a blacksmith. Let's go to the kitchen.
I'm with you.
Okay. Hey, y'all, it's Paula Deen. Now, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like it and click the subscribe button as well as the notification bell to be alerted when I post a video. Love and best dishes, y'all.